So, little Judith here, we've listened to her, we've probably got a sheet a little bit where we circled a couple of things, written down her goal, whatever the case may be. Now comes this like that point in the call where we got to tell her, yes, we can help you. Yeah. So we work from the point where this person, they want to be heard. Now, when they want to be heard, it means like we need to be able to tailor that close to them. And the first way we do that is by saying to them, okay, Judith, I believe we can help you, but in order to help you, we can't just give you a cookie cutter plan. Mm-hmm. So that's what all the other gyms do. They just give you a cookie cutter thing and then expect you to just follow that and get results. That's not what we do here. We need to come up with a bespoke plan. Now, the first step in this plan is to make sure we do an assessment or a screen, whatever we're going to come up with in that sense. We're going to do an assessment screen. Once we do that, it will give you a bespoke roadmap over the next 12 weeks to achieve this goal that you wanted to achieve. I'm going to talk to you right now a little bit about what some of those elements are. Then you go into it. So like, now first and foremost, it's really important. This is like a crucial step for us. This is like the one thing that from listening to your call, from listening to you earlier, Judith, that I can see will probably fundamentally change everything for you. And that is identifying the triggers. And we do that with our ACE system. Okay? The ACE system stands for awareness, combat, eliminate. The first part of it is awareness of your environment, friends, partner, work, social, whatever the case may be. Your emotions, whether you're sad, happy, stressed, whatever the case may be, or your beliefs that you have about what it takes to get results. So we have awareness, what triggers in there basically leads us to binging, yo-yo dieting, under-eating, overeating, whatever they've essentially said. If she said like, I under-eat massively, or you assess that, and say like, these triggers that in our environment, if she said like her partners or friends or put social pressure, that's the one that we focus on. So how that is affecting us not getting result. That leads to all of these negative scenarios. And you're going to call it, or leads to that negative action or behavior. Probably behavior is a better one. Which leads to that negative behavior that you told me about binging. Standing there in the kitchen with your, and eating your child's packet of crisps because that's the only snack that's in the cupboard. So we need to have awareness of why that's happening, and we're going to give you systems to combat that to then eventually eliminate it completely. Wouldn't you agree, Judith, that if you could stop binging, if you could stop yo-yo dieting, or if your environment where your friends, your partner, whatever the case may be, can stop influencing your progress, whatever the case may be, or halt your progress, whatever we come up with, wouldn't you agree that that would be super helpful, or that would be super transformational? And they'll probably go like, I haven't even thought about that. I don't know what's going on, or I've never even thought about that. I'm like, okay, yes. Then you say like, one of the key things that we do here, because now we've moved in here, so we want to get like confirmation after each one of these steps as well. So we're not like, wouldn't it make sense? So after every step, it's like, if we don't give you a cookie cutter plan, and we do an assessment and we give you that roadmap in order for you to get this result over 12 weeks, do you think that would be super helpful? And they go like, yes. Okay, well, I've got the yes. Perfect. Because every time they say yes to you, that moves them one step closer. Mm-hmm. Then, wait here for the yes. Do you think that will be transformational if I give you this awareness with our ACE system to identify all of these triggers. Do you think that will be super helpful? Yes. And you can even ask the question if they like, yeah, you can be like, okay, so how do you think that will change it for you? You know, that could be a question here as well. So, you know, if you're not sure about the answer, it's like, how do you think that will change it for you? Because now they're all selling themselves, because now they're like in that position where they go, oh yeah, this could change me in this way and it could prevent this. So they sell themselves. So you can do that with after every step. Once you've done this and you've got your yes, you say, okay, now one of the key things that we focus on here is our responsive plans. That's dependent on the awareness of your nutritional education. We have responsive plans that's depend or not dependent. That's reacts, maybe it could be a good word.
Somehow react to your individual needs.
Yeah, so we have responsive plans.
Yeah.
That is based on your awareness of nutrition.
Yeah.
Responsive plans, awareness of nutrition, which will mean we focus on bespoke data-driven nutrition in order to get your results without you needing to, I don't know, binge, yo-yo diet, whatever their problems were, cut out carbs, I don't want to do this diet, you know, all that sort of type of stuff.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Then obviously we get the yes. So like, how do you think having bespoke data-driven nutrition or having a responsive plan based on what you've eaten last week or what you're gonna have coming up the weekend, whatever, how do you think that will do you think that would be helpful? They go like, yes. How do you think that will change the game for you? Because one thing that you want to do is just make sure that they understand it. So that might make the sales call a little bit longer, but how do you think having a responsive plan having responsive plans will change the game for you? Mm-hmm. You go like, well, yeah, you know, and they go like, what do you mean a responsive plan? Well, let's say, for example, you have a very low awareness of what is required to get results. Then we need to start you off in baby steps. But if you already have a high awareness of what it takes to get results, we can give you the more advanced strategies. And that is basically a bespoke nutrition plan based on where you are, or based on your awareness, based on your, I don't want to say skill set, but based on your thing.
Yeah. So you could say in your armory, we're going to give you, because I spoke to a guy yesterday, just a quick one, and he didn't need all this. He was like, I know it all, thank you, I am fine. Mm-hmm. Well, he obviously isn't, because of what he told me about what he looks like in his physique. Mm-hmm. But he said, I don't need any of that. I said, well, you know, you've got the knowledge, because he was like, I think his job is a life coach. So I said, look, you've got this knowledge, you have it, but are you able to implement it yourself for yourself? Because I understand you can share it with other people, but can you trigger it for yourself? Mm-hmm. And he said, so if you need to sit down with a coach just for the trick to help you trigger mindset, we'll do that. So I just changed it.
Yeah.
Because some people don't think they need it at all.
So one thing that you can put in here as well, it's like, there'll be like, I don't know, something that's preventing them from doing it. You know, maybe it's not procrastination, but they have a high level of knowledge, but they're not implementing it for whatever reason. What is the barrier to implementation? You know, so we can say environment, emotions, barriers, beliefs, right? So then there's the EEBB, the EEBB system, and the ACE triggers. Yeah. But then obviously, so our goes like, look, we're going to do this assessment. We're going to make sure we identify these triggers. Yes. Then we're going to implement responsive plans around your nutrition based on your awareness.
Yeah.
And that will give you a bespoke data-driven nutrition plan, which is going to give you this goal over that 15 weeks. But the best thing about responsive nutrition plans, or our responsive plans, it's based on, it's not set plans. So what you do one week will influence what we do the other week. And I'll go like, what do you mean? It's like, let's say for example, you've fallen off the wagon. As opposed to trying to force to keep to this program, we'll just basically adjust it so that it's more manageable for you. Okay? Because one thing that we don't want to do is like set you up for 3 months just for this, and then halfway through, if you fall off the wagon for whatever reason, then getting back on it, but by such a strict regime, is going to be really tough for you. So we need to adapt how we look at that then, in order to make it easy for you. Then number 4 is what we call the customized body servicing. Customized body servicing. This one will be a bit strange, I think.
Is this the movement screening?
No, customized body servicing is the exercise, right?
Right.
So wouldn't you agree that, Judith, in order for your body to adapt and change, not only do we need to have awareness of our triggers, we need to have plans that help us in the current situation or the current season, I don't know, current journey, I don't know, whatever the case may be, but we need to service our body through exercise. Through exercise. So with our customized body servicing, essentially, lucky for you because you're in our area, you'll be able to get access to coached training sessions by our experts at certain times.
Okay.
The best thing about that is you don't need to think about or follow a plan or print out anything, whatever the case may be. All you need to do is show up at the facility and we will take you through the movements.
Yeah. That's good.
Or if they're offline or they're like, oh, I can only come once a week, twice a week, you can say, well, you can still make one of these sessions, but the beauty is we have training plans that you can also implement that follows our methodology. Maybe if you're traveling, that is at home, home-based workouts, if you're missing any sessions, or if you're traveling to a hotel that's got a bit of a commercial gym as well in there, going on a holiday, whatever the case may be, you can do that workout in there as well. So we've got you covered 99% of the time. Doesn't matter what the situation, scenario you're in, you'll always be able to service, I don't know, service sounds a bit weird, but you'll always be able to make sure that you put your body through exercise, movement, whatever the case may be. So basically, customized body servicing essentially gives you the ability to start influencing your body for change.
Okay.
And then people will go like, you know, like for now, I know we're focusing heavy on the community, right? We're talking about community and we talk support. And accountability, we sometimes say.
Mm-hmm. What we say results as well, what you're going to get from this training and this nutritional support.
So one of the key things is like, look, Judith, we are going to give you this because you want to reach this goal. Okay. Now, if I give you that, can you see how that will get you to that goal? I'd be like, oh yeah. If I give you responsive plans based on the season you're in, based on what's currently happening for you, how do you think that will impact you getting to that goal? Yeah, that will definitely, if I have a responsive plan that can adapt and bespoke to what's currently happening in my environment, all that sort of type of things, then yeah, absolutely, I can see how that's going to get me to my goal. But then not just that, if you show up for the body servicing, if we put you through these 3 coach-led without you needing to think about programs, whatever the case may be, if we give you everything that is required to do that, do you not think that you'll be closer to this? Because the biggest sell that happens is these 3 core ones, right? So you might identify, because for us, for normal gyms, what happens is they focus a lot just based on the exercise. They make that the big thing. So if we're flipping that script and we're saying these are actually the big things, this is what in reality is required, this is what we put our clients through, this is why they get those results. We minimize this and maximize the points that no one else is talking about, which just sets us completely different. And then you go like, yeah, okay, cool. So, and you be like, look, additional bonuses, we have a very strong, influential community. Obviously our coaches are there to support you 24/7.
Positive, influential community. And coaches. Support in and out of the gym.
Yeah, support. Like, we're going to be there with you 99% of the time. We're only a message away. But you don't have to oversell these things. It might be someone's like a little bit on the fence and they're like, yeah, but you know what, I want to make some friends and, stuff like that.
You say that.
Yeah, if that's what they do, then you focus on that community and be like, then you can say it's like, yeah, of course, we have a very influential community that we take out on events and nights out, and we've got access. We give you access 24/7 access to that community. You have access. You make some new friends, and we've curated that environment where everybody is welcome. And through that, not only do you get support from our coaches and our leadership team, but also from the peer group, from other clients who's been veterans, who's been with us 3, 4, 5, 10 years. They're always there supporting and helping. And they're like, yeah, but will you give me accountability? It's like, Judith, here's the thing. If I can educate you with our ACE system on how your environment and your emotions and these beliefs and barriers is influencing you at this point in time, then accountability comes back to you. You will have that naturally by removing all of these barriers, all of these blocks that's in the way of launching this airplane on the runway. You're the airplane. You weigh 2,000 tons and you fly. That sort of type of thing.
Not going anywhere.
So I think this is like a positive step for us to dial this in. Then what I can do right now as well, now that we've got this a little bit dialed in, I can go through that document that you've typed up and we're going to say, okay, cool. Let's see how we can introduce that. Let's type up a couple of notes around that. Let's see how we've positioned that. Because what we have now is we've got like 4 main pillars that we can take people through. So one of the key things is like, people always say it's like where like people move toward with the highest values exchange. Now value is the biggest movers for people. So if we say to guys, it's like, look, it's not cookie cutter, this is bespoke. That's a big mover because people don't want to be put into a box. Yeah. Even though the solution in the back end is typically the same, it's this biggest mover for people. They want to be heard. That is a mover. I want to be heard. I don't like, macro tracking is too advanced for me. All right, we're going to give you a nutrition plan, but we're also going to give you this. And then whether you want to do it at home or in the gym or whatever the case may be, we've got a plan for that stuff, right? So you're going to be heard, but then we're also going to give you that education about triggers. What is influencing you to do XYZ action, to have that behavior, to do these things? And we do that through this system. And then, yes, it comes down to like what other people have, or they don't even have this. They give you a standardized nutrition plan or something, or they tell you to do macro calculations or whatever, track your nutrition every day. If you don't have that, and you don't want to do that, there are ways to come around that. We have figured out the ways, right? Nutrition plan, whether you blah, 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 all that stuff. That will give you the bespoke data-driven nutrition in order to get that result that you wanted to achieve. And then to also get this result, Judith, to get that result, if you want to lose that, we're going to introduce customized body servicing, right? This is coming to our gym 3 times a week and be put through your paces by a coach. Or if you don't have that, if you're traveling, you still need to keep that up within a time period. You need to move your body. You need to give it that chance and influence it to adapt into something that you want. But over here, like I've sold them already on just these 3 points, because they go like, oh, I'm being heard, I'm being educated about how stuff is influencing me so I can have long-term sustainability, plus I'm having responsive plans. So now the exercise becomes like a very small thing when everybody else makes it the biggest thing. And then obviously additionally to that, yes, we have a community which we do events and charity events and all, nights out and all that stuff. That's great. But not only will you have support from our leadership team, our coaches, but also your peer support. That's very fundamentally important. Natural relationships develop out of that. Friends becomes girlfriends, becomes wives, all that sort of type of thing. And we're like, yeah, but I just need a bit of accountability. Like Judith, if we put you through this process and you know why you're doing things and you can reach out to a coach any point in time, that accountability becomes naturally for you, comes naturally to you. It becomes a lifestyle change. Once we can influence you to have the accountability for a lifestyle change, how do you think that will affect you? How do you think that will be positive for you? God, it's going to be amazing.
Yeah. When do I do the program that they're suitable for? Like, do I say it here or am I saying it? You're really good. You're best fit for our blah 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 plan. But do I say which is, and then you say the what that's for, and then go about this, and then do the price at the end, or what? I presume the price obviously comes after the number 5, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Because it can't come before then. That wouldn't be right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which now?
Glad brag. So obviously if you listen, because one thing that you want to do is, like, for us, indicators that someone is, because we sell the strong program not because people want to lift weight. We sell it because there's a certain requirement in terms of movement, right? So if someone says like, yeah, I've been to a gym, and or they go like, I've done CrossFit, okay? So okay, where on the spectrum, for example, are they with their, because someone can do CrossFit but have very limited knowledge about nutrition, okay? But this doesn't influence whether this is a strong program, this is their nutrition. But then, because the strong is more based on how well they can move, so if you put load onto someone, for example, like the coaches, maybe they need a little bit more help, maybe they have experience with weight, maybe they've expressed like, look, I want to lift weight, I haven't had much experience with that. Is our coaches going to be able to deal with that in the sessions? So the only indicator for us whether they're strong or fit is based on how well they can move. And I think that's the whole key thing with everybody else, because this is just a mechanism, right? So, for example, PT is a mechanism. we know they want this result, but how best do they want that delivered? What can they afford? What can they do? So for you, it's almost like, you know, you make a judgment whether it's fit, strong, or PT, essentially. So, you know, like, that's based on you where you feel this person will fit in the best. And that's still the same. If you say like, look, I'm going to put you in the strong program. Why do you put people in a strong program?
Because they could be already have a level of fitness where they are pretty much at their goal size. They want to get more ripped or more muscular or more strong, and they're quite confident with and the idea of it. They might not have done it before, but it sounds like they've done lots of other types of sports before.
Yeah.
They potentially will be okay to do it.
So when you say okay,
I've got no good
why
fine to do it.
Why would they be more suited for strong than fit?
Sometimes it can be down to the person's that is just simply their goals. So I know that, and we've heard loads of the coaches say it before. Like, say you had somebody who was a really lean chap and he wants to get ripped. I wouldn't put him on fit because he'd probably disappear. Like, the best thing to do is to get him on strong, give him the right nutrition plan and the right training. He will then look more muscular and more athletic and be much more strong. So he'd be suitable for that.
So this is the judgment that you do pre-year, and this decides whether it's a fit,
yeah,
or strong. But then also, you know, someone might say, it's like, look, I don't like group training. Like, it's just not my. Then
totally, yeah.
PT, you know.
Another thing
because these are just mechanisms.
Yeah.
Our offer remains the same all the time.
Oh yeah. Well, it adapts accordingly to the person.
Yeah.
It just depends. If the person just wants one-to-one and they've got anxiety or they don't like other people, then there's no other way to go.
Yeah.
If they're a bit like, oh, I'm not sure, then I'll sell them all. I'll like work out from talking to them and then decide what I'm gonna try and influence them to decide to do. And if someone could be strong, but I'm still on the fence about it, I say, let's do the fit program for a month or two. The coaches will assess your mobility, and then what we can do is move you over. That's no issue. I'll alter it that way. So I do it that way as well, like a stepping stone in, because sometimes it's the 162, I'm 104, or sometimes it's just literally like, I'm not convinced they're as advanced as they say they are. So let's go on there, shed a bit of body fat, do this, gain some techniques under your belt. Then we'll shift you over to the strength when you'll be ready for it and primed for it.
Okay. So that judgment based on what you say, you know, obviously you can say like we're going to give you customized body servicing if you decide that they 4 times, because none of that really influences this much. Does it make sense?
Yeah, that's nothing to do with it, is it? That's.
Yeah. So what we're trying to do here is remove the focus from you get 4 sessions to like, look at all these things that you're going to get or that we're going to help shift you. So then this becomes like, how many times and I can't sign up because of 3 times a week, you know. But then it becomes more about these 3 biggest movers for people.
So at the end of my chat with them, digging into their goals, finding their pains and all that kind of stuff, and I bring it around and say, right, okay, I think you're a really, really good fit for the gym. And at this point, do I then say, I think that at the minute, you're a really good fit for the X, whatever, program. With regards to what we will do for you in this, and then I'll go through boom, and then it talks about the customized body servicing on the fit program. What the program is designed to do is this, and this, and then you talk about all everything else within that.
So you're gonna say it's like, you know, we need to change that. It's like, what I would change here is probably say like what we're gonna do for you, right? I would change that to say like, okay, like, look, Judith, I understand where you are right now. This is your goal. Now, what I think is going to be the biggest mover for you is going to be step 1. I don't want to give you a cookie cutter plan. I think you're a really great fit. And I would change that as well for our gym to like, I think you'll be a great fit for our environment. Okay,
so is that where we're at now? Well, I think... Right, say that again. What did I say that you didn't like? I understand where you are right now.
So
you're a great fit for our environment.
Yeah, I think what I would take away would be like, yes, what we're going to do for you, to more like, look, Judith, these goals you have, they are great. But I can tell you right now, you're not going to hit them unless we implement the next 4 pillars. And I'll speak to you about that right now. I think you're a great fit for our environment. But in order to get you to these goals, we're going to need to do a couple of things. And number one, I don't think we'll be able to just give you a cookie cutter plan. That's probably what other gyms do, but that's not what we do in our environment. One of the key things what we need to do is an assessment and really see what your awareness is about triggers. So you're going to mention it, triggers, responsive plans. We can probably call that nutrition, probably. And we can talk likely about exercise. And once we understand these key components, we'll be able to generate you a bespoke roadmap that will get you to this goal over the next 12 weeks.
Okay, so number one is more like an intro almost, like pinpointing the next steps. So step one is that will lead to the roadmap. Then boom, boom, boom. Okay, that's fine. But I'm not mentioning the program, yet. Still, I'm saying you're a good fit for our environment. Cracking on with these, and then you mention
because
the program.
Eventually, whether they come onto the strong or the fit doesn't really matter to them, if that makes sense. Like, because if you the fit strong or the fit program in isolation means nothing to no one. Does it make sense? So for you, it's probably like, okay, I'm going to put them on the fit, right? That's cool. You can make a note here at the back and say, probably
sort it out then.
Yeah,
that's okay.
But first thing, what are we going to do is assess this, see where you're at, what you need. We're going to have to do this. We're going to have to do that.
Yeah.
And then you can just say it's like, the customized body servicing. For you, it's going to be delivered through our fit program. And I wouldn't even say like, because you've reiterated the goals consistently. I'd say like you want to achieve that. In my expert opinion, this is where you're going to come. You're going to come into this program. It's called our fit program. You're going to show up. You're not going to say it's going to help you burn fat.
Well,
it's going to help.
This is different. So the way you set it out is like, this is what you need.
Yeah.
Because I've already told you what you need to do.
Exactly. To get that goal, this is going to be the biggest. Like these are the big movers. This is going to be another big mover. You're going to show up here 3 times a week with our fit program. It's not about what the fit program will do for them, because then they attach. I'm doing this exercise that will give me the result, whereas actually this is giving them the result. So they show up, we're going to put you through movements through a dedicated coach. Your coach is here, he's going to coach you. You don't even have to think about the exercise. You show up and you do the movements and you do the exercise, because wouldn't you agree you need to be able to put your body in a position to influence it to start change as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can probably, after everyone is like, yes, you can say, so do you think if we put you through an exercise program, with a coach, how do you think, what impact do you think that will have for you? How will that change it for you to have regular exercise? Because ultimately you want to say to them, it's like, okay, yeah, if I can show up 3 times a week, like, yeah, that will change my body. Of course it will. Like if I'm starting to move and I'm doing that, and it's probably a point for you as well to understand where their beliefs are at as well in terms of workouts and stuff like that,
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And very rarely after this will they ask any other questions. But if they're like, yeah, but I see you guys a lot, such a good community gym. Like, yeah, we have the community. We have events. We have. We're big in the community over here, but it's sort of like when you start dating your partner, it's not really about his family, unless you're a gold digger or something like that. But essentially, it's not really about their family. It's more about these big mover things, and then the family is sort of like, oh yeah, and then it's like, the other stuff is sort of round about there. So this is sort of how this is as well. It's more like, these are like the auxiliary stuff. If they're really pressing, it's like, well, yeah, we've got a great community. Yes, we absolutely believe in that. But in order for you to get the result, this is what you're going to move through. These are just great side effects of the environment that we've created and curated. Yes, and then they're like, but you know, how will I get support? Well, you know, you're gonna get 24/7 support from our leadership team, our coaches, and from your peers. We have members who've, you know, this is the time to brag maybe a little bit. We've got coaches who've, you know, played for England hockey. We've got coaches who's, you know, done X, Y, Z. You know, so you've got a very experienced team here, very mature team as well. But then also we've had members who's been through our philosophy for 4 or 5 years, and that's your time to say like, shit, people actually stay here for a long time. That's like letting that little seed drop in there.
Yeah.
And when they ask about accountability, it's like, you can always just, Judith, do you think if we create you a great plan, we help you identify these triggers, and we give you responsive plans that continually change as things are happening with you, that will give you your own self-accountability right there. It's like, yeah, but what if I fall off the wagon? Well, that's what the responsive plan is. So we look at what it is.
Yeah.
You know, this is your opportunity to pull a coach. Okay, you need to adjust. You're going through this situation, this scenario right now. So, you know, you've got a lot of stress at work. You know, you got to work all the hours. Right, let's adjust your responsive plan in order to get you there. Might take a little bit longer, you know, whatever the case may be, but it's responsive for where you are right now. And isn't it true, Judith, that the only thing that we can do is, when everything is going to shit, is regroup, reassess, you know, and then move forward from that point in time. There's no use to worry about spilled milk, whatever, you know, blah, 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 all that sort of stuff. So we'll get this like typed down into a document. Then like behind you there, I've printed out something. So this is maybe like an example of how, you know, we can have your little sheet like that, just to remind you a little bit of like, okay, you know, we'll put it here. It says like, okay, number 1, the assessment, the screen. This will take you to there, you know, and just to like remind you consistently.
Oh yeah, it's like when I first started, I used to have it all written down.
Yeah.
But then I'll need it again for the trigger words and to
Yeah.
not forget.
So we can put the trigger words in there. So what we
Yeah.
can do is like, you know, we can have this like a big block like this, you know,
Yeah.
and then say it's like, okay, cool. Number 1, you know, we can be like, okay, they want to be heard. You know, okay, no cookie cutter. The assessment about the triggers, the responses, the exercise. And you can obviously flesh that out a little bit as well, and then move on and put down here at the bottom. Did you get the agreement? Or maybe if you're not sure, how do you think that will change it for you?
Yeah, that's fine.
And they're like, well, I don't really think having a plan would change it for me. Like, so are you saying to have a clear plan, clarity in order how you can go from here to there isn't something that will help you? No. Okay, well, thank you for your call, you know, but 90% of the time they'll go like, yeah, sure. And if you're not sure about it, it's like, but how do you think it will change for you? Well, I'll have clarity. I know how to get from A to B. Okay, cool. You know, move.
Yeah.
Right.
Fucking hell.
Wow, that's 38 minutes. Jesus
Jesus,
Christ.
I need to make a call in a minute as well.